Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various win for the Game Set Go tournament here in Golf Clash the Game. And make sure that you do subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications and do hit that like button. Also get the ultimate tournament guides for Pro Expert and Master on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind though that these are all suggestions and you don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, I wanted to start with the quarterback here, but due to the little headwind that we're having, I changed my mind and do play with a driver with more power. Because we do want to prevent us from having to use overpower on a drive like this. I think that's very important. 4.5 bar topspin, 2 bars of left spin, ball guideline to be straight down the fairway to make sure that we do have room for a great left and a great right. Adjust max plus 10, and then I'm using something that we would like to call outside the wall curl to the left. It means that the left side of the ball should be just outside the adjustment range to the left. Getting the ball up to around 315 yards is absolutely perfect because now it gives us two options. The first option is what I'm trying to do at first, but I'm noticing there that I don't have topspin enough. So if you want to go for the rough bomb, which in my opinion is going to be the much better way to get an eagle here, then you need to have at least a sniper level 8. A sniper 7 do not have the topspin enough, and then we're gonna see ourselves having a glitchy ball guideline, which we don't want to have. So we do want to aim for the first part of the rough to have the ball guideline to the hole, as you could see there in the video. But if you don't have the topspin enough, then you will have the bounce before. And this is not a bad opportunity, it's just that it's not as good as the rough bump is. Leave the ball guideline short if you do have tailwind. If you do have headwind, then you need to have the ball guideline to go a little bit through the hole. Otherwise you will, in that case, fall short in line as well. No elevation, and I'm judging this to be around medium distance of my club. It's very important though that you check where minimum distance are and where maximum distance are as well to make a decision. Very close to start off with an eagle on hole number 1, which is not going to be something that everyone will be getting, but with the option shown here in the video, it's a good way of attacking the pin. Hole number 2 is going to be very difficult from front tee compared to second and third tee. It's because we do usually play with clubs that don't have backspin enough to use our wood clubs. So we're gonna have to back up and try to kind of triple bounce this ball down towards the pin, which is gonna be a very rare hole-in-one. So what I do then, when I feel that the possibility for an hole-in-one is very slim, then I use a ball that I know I can afford all day and every day, which is a Marlin ball. Because the Marlin, sure, we don't really have that much, we don't really have that much wind resistance or nothing else, but it gets the job done, and we're getting it close, but to miss to the right hand side and have a simple putt towards the pin. Max plus 10 is what I'm using as club distance and elevation for hole number 2. For hole number 3, we are going to play a drive that looks tough, but it isn't that tough in my opinion. 4.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of left spin, and if we are having a little bit of tailwind, the ball guideline should have the second bounce to be just above the rough. If we do have a headwind, it is very important that we're looking to have the ball guideline a little bit further up, so we can, in that case, avoid for the ball to clip the rough with the second bounce. I understand that if you do have lower level clubs here, playing in headwind, this drive is going to be very tough compared to those that have the possibility to play with more topspin than 4.5 bars. Adjust max plus 10. And then I use half a ball of curl to the left. But looking at the outcome, the half a ball may be a little bit too much. We're getting, in my opinion, a little bit too close to the rough line to the left. So reduce the curl a little bit to get a better outcome. Second shot, we're gonna play with 10% elevation, and here we're gonna use the sniper towards the pin. The important part here now is to judge the club distance correct, because if you don't, then you may risk not clipping the rough. And then you once again may wonder, why do I go through such trouble and playing such an aggressive line on this hole? It's because this is, in my opinion, the only way where an albatross is likely. And I want always to display a chance for an albatross, or chance for an eagle, or chance for an hole-in-one when we do play a hole. Now I do over adjust this shot a little bit, which means that we missed this one to the left, but you can see that we do have a pretty decent amount of rough to play with. And so if you're using the ring system, and even if you're under adjusting or over adjusting, you will still clip the rough and be there for a safe putt for eagle. But if we're gonna look for other options here that may result into an albatross, there isn't really anything. Then we only play for a safe eagle, and that's not really what you want me to focus on in a playthrough. At least that is not what I would like to see if I'm looking to improve my game in tournaments. Hole number 4, and we're gonna play with the backbone, not with the Goliath. There's no point because we already have the power. So the backbone is, in my opinion, especially in the lower level stages, a better club than the Goliath. 4 bars of backspin. Now, the problem we do have here now is that we play a shot that is very much downhill, right? So I'm trying to leave the ball guideline short of pin to make sure that we are compensating for the correct ball guideline, because we don't have a fully developed ball guideline on our backbone. Max plus 20. And I'm using a navigator ball here to reduce the wind just a little bit more, even though it may be, you know, like we don't really need to reduce the wind that much because the wind is already pretty low. But the navigator we can spend because I wanted to really give it a go to try to get this ball in the hole. Just missed that one a little bit to the left of the pin, and that could be all from that we misadjust or that we then what can I say, position ourselves wrong as we don't have a good ball guideline. Those of you having the possibility to play with the Grizzly or with the B52 with a good ball guideline like 4.5 or better, use that club instead, because that will be a massive advantage for you if you're playing from front tee. Alright, for hole number 5, we are going to push this drive hard, even if we do have headwind. So, if we do have headwind, I would recommend to play with a free-to-play ball called Berserker, which you can win for free in the golden shot. If you do have crosswind or tailwind, it is enough to play with a regular power 3 ball, such as the Titan or Kingmaker, because trying to get over the rough here, there is such a massive advantage to that compared to having to lay up on the top right of the first fairway. You can see to the right there on the game screen. Because if you lay up to the top right there, you're going to have a long wood club shot with a lot of elevation for the second shot. But by playing what I do show you here in the video guide is that we are pushing the ball or the drive hard, trying to get as close to the green possible here for either a short iron or a wedge towards the pin. When I'm in a situation like this, I usually go for the dunk if I don't have room to bounce up with my short iron. Why? It's because the wedge in low level does not have a good ball guideline, and I don't feel comfortable with playing a shot like that. So then I go for the dunk, but that's completely up to you, how you want to attack the pin here. If you play with a power 3 ball, this situation will most likely never happen, as you will always have room to bounce up towards the pin. But the dunk is definitely an option to play, and if you want to try it out, make sure that you aim at the back end of the cup, because otherwise you will most likely bounce just before the cup instead of into it directly. Minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment is for the dunk, but if you are bouncing towards the pin, as always, the same procedure: check where minimum distance are, check where maximum distance are, and decide to what club distance you're going to play. It could be all from minimum distance all the way up to maximum distance of your club, and keep the 10% elevation. Hole number 5 offers a very good chance for an eagle. For hole number 6, we are going to use the driver that gives us the most power possible. And here I would in some way recommend to play with a Quasar, but when the wind is coming right to left, a Navigator is definitely going to be okay. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and change the ball here in the info box to a Navigator, just to display the ball that we actually are playing with. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then I'm also using curl to make sure that I do have room for a great right, especially because the fairway, as you can see there on the view, the fairway slopes from left to right. So when the fairway slopes like that, the ball will then of course roll a little bit more to the right than what we want to, and that's why we use the curl to compensate for that. Second shot here, we are using the sniper. Now we're going to be very close to maximum distance of our club. Try to move around with your target to try to find a spot that seems consistent. The problem with this hole though is that it is very tough to find a spot like that when we are bouncing before the green. Adjust max plus 10 with the ball guideline going just short of hole. Have in mind that the sniper, even if it has 4.5 ball guideline, is not have a full ball guideline, because 5.0 is the max you can have on your ball guideline, which no club has. So that is very important that you still leave that ball guideline just a little bit short, especially on this hole. Coming in a bit too much left, we needed a bit more adjustment here for this shot, but you see the idea of how to play this hole, which is the most important part. You know, a safe drive leaves us a safe shot towards the green, and it's gonna be a safe eagle. And albatross, as always when we play a par 5 in Golf Clash, is gonna be a big bonus. Another par 3 where I feel that from front tee is gonna be such a low percentage drop that I'm gonna play this one in a safe way for us to still give us a chance for an hole-in-one, but mainly that we play for a safe way of getting a birdie without flirting with any of the two bunkers that we do have positioned just by the green, just to mess up for us. Max backspin and 1 right spin. Leave the ball guideline to be a little bit longer than where the pin stands. The reason for that is that when we do have as much backspin as we're having, the ball will stop sooner than when you are expecting. You can see here it comes there, and then it's gonna also roll back a little bit, especially for those of you playing with the Guardian level 7 or better, has even more backspin. So then it's even more important that the ball guideline go past the hole, so we have room for the ball to roll back again. Marlin ball is what I'm using every time when I feel that there is no real other advantage of playing with a better ball. Minimum distance with a 10% over adjustment is our adjustment for hole number 7. For hole number 8, we will have a good chance, in my opinion, to get an eagle here, because this is one of the easier of the Gokashu Bay, and you will notice that when we have played the drive, because the drive is everything. If you do a good drive, you will have a short iron towards the pin. If you do a bad drive, you may be in between clubs, or you have a long iron towards the pin. Play with a power 2 ball. I would say that playing with a power 3 ball like a Kingmaker or a Titan is not bad when we do have headwind like this. But as you can notice there, a power 2 ball is definitely gonna be fine. I want to have the side spin 3 though, so a Katana is my go-to ball on this hole. Using a little bit of curl to the right as well. Half a ball is the general advice to use here, but you can use a little bit more if you want to get closer towards the hole. 4.5 bar topspin and 3 bars of side spin to the right. If you have the possibility to play with more than 4.5 bar topspin, do so, because the more topspin you're using, the closer you will get in towards the green. Now, I am in max distance of my close, or at least very close to it, depending once again how the drive is going to go. Now I do play with a Thorn level 5, which do not have a fully developed ball guideline, so we need to really pay attention to how we position the ball guideline to make sure that we are leaving ourselves room to roll towards the pin. A very common mistake that you do with low level clubs is that you do aim for the pin even though your ball guideline is not fully developed. And what will happen then? The thing that will happen is that the ball will come in too hot, most likely hit the pin, even if you have the direction correct, and it will bounce out. And that is possibly one of the worst things that could happen, or at least one of the most frustrating things that could happen. Now we leave the ball guideline short, we play max +5, and you can see that the speed was absolutely perfect, and then it's not going to bounce out, and it's going to stay in, and we celebrate for an eagle on hole 8. For hole number 9, which is the final of the holes that we do have in the tournament. This is going to be a tough one to get an eagle at, but I'm gonna show you a way of getting the ball to green and give ourselves a chance for an eagle. First and foremost, we are going to use a driver that gives us the most power possible. So in my case, it's an extra mile. It doesn't have to be that for you, but for those of you that are playing with the rock or with the quarterback in a high level, meaning level 9 and 10 for quarterback, or for level 7 or better for the rock, use any of those clubs instead, because it will give you an better accuracy. It will give you, most especially, a better ball guideline, so you can make sure that when you're adding spin, that you're not adding too much or too little, so you get the ball to be at the top of the fairway. Second shot is going to be tricky, I will have to admit that. I'm gonna use 5 bars of top spin, 3 bars of right spin. Look to where my tip of the ball guideline points. I'm gonna take this video right away again, because I want you to really focus on the second bounce to where it's positioned. It is positioned into the bunker, above the water, pointing towards a little bit off center to the right on the bunker at the top. And that is the position that you want to look for. Adjust medium distance with a 10% over adjustment and go full curl to the right. A great ball here, or a perfect ball, will have, in this case, the same outcome, meaning that we're gonna clip the rough and roll out. In this case, we're ending up on green, but in many cases you will roll through the rough and out on the fairway before the green, or on the fringe for a simple wedge towards the pin. You may be wondering, why do I go through so much trouble to get the ball there? The reason for that is that if we are gonna try to do anything else, we cannot get over the water in any other way, so then we have to lay up, and then the third shot is gonna be with a short iron, which is going to be much less likely that we're gonna drop that one than if we would be having a wedge or a putt. Obviously there is risk when we're doing a shot like this. The second shot is that we may end up into the bunker or into the rough if we're not careful enough, or say like this, if we're not executing well enough. Because, you know, careful we can all be, but we need to execute well, otherwise we may find ourselves in a problem area here on hole 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough with various win for Rookie Division for the Game Set Go tournament here in Golf Clash the Game. Make sure that you comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. You can always email us at support@golfclashtommy.com if you do have any other questions that you want to take it up there. We're here to help. Doesn't matter if you're a new player or an experienced player, we do want to help you out. If you're looking to improve your game even more, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy, where we do offer high exclusive tour text guides and also ultimate tournament guides for tournament. Link directly in the description down below. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck in your Golf Clash game.